an ideal. Hello, Jan. I don't think you can see me properly, folks. I'm going to have to open another level of the curtain. I shall be right with you. That is just not bright enough. 2 seconds. The sun has gone in. It's a cloudy day and the light is not good. Come on, camera, focus. Focus. See if I can move into the light a little bit more. I'm not sure I can, folks. That's as good as we're going to get, I think. Oh, here we go. No. If I go... Okay. We're doing well. We're off to a good start. We are off to a good start. Okay, folks. This is episode 27 of TrampCast. I know what you're thinking. Episode 27 already. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Down and Out in Torrevieja. As I said, Delta Mike, that's me. Down and Out, a hobo, a tramp, and a person of no fixed abode. I lost my synonyms there. I used to have to spiel for this. An indigent person. Torrevieja is a city on the southeast coast of Spain, the Costa Blanca South. Okay, folks. If you can, thumbs up, please. If you're there. Where is the sun, Jasper? I know, my friend. I know. Jasper's asking where the sun is. The sun has gone. It's been a cloudy, miserable, windy, shitty day today. Oh, look at that. I waited until after the 2-minute mark. YouTube don't like you swearing in the first 2 minutes, apparently. I managed to... the beard's gone. Yes, my friend Karen paid a visit. I already had the clippers, I just didn't use them. Oh, well, there we go. The camera's finally caught up with us. Yeah, I was too afraid to use the clippers on my own. So she came around and did that. And brought presents, because it's Karen. I shall be making... Oh, there she is. Speak of the devil. She brought goodies. We'll maybe talk about that shortly. Okay, folks, as I said, thumbs up if you could. If you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd like you to at least consider it. Especially if this isn't your first video. If you've been here before, you obviously like me and you're going to keep coming back. You might as well make it easy on yourself. Hit that subscribe button. That's a thumbs up, isn't it? Not a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and if you're lucky, 1 time in 10, YouTube will alert you when there's a live stream about to happen. From what I can gather, that is about the going rate, about 1 time in 10. Or once in a blue moon, even. Okay, folks. If you'd care to step away for a moment and open this in a new tab and share it out there, the options are Facebook, Twitter, and any other place that you might share these things. I lose track of the options. I'm no good on social media. I'm not a very sociable person. I know some of you will find that hard to believe. I know. But it's true. Now, this isn't for those of you that are here 4 minutes in on the stream. This is for people who might not be watching at 4 minutes past 5 Spanish time. If you join us while we're still live, you may start at the beginning. So you want to check the bottom left-hand corner. Touch the screen or click the screen. You'll see the word live. You're looking for a little red dot next to the word live. If I'm still broadcasting and you see the word live but no dot, then you want to do a click either with your finger or with the mouse on that button, and it'll bring you smack up to date with us here in the future. Time travel. Okay, folks. As I said, this is episode 27 of TrampCast, and we begin, as has become customary, with the numbers. just some facts about the number 27 while we wait and see if anybody else joins us. I've got quite a few facts here, but we'll try and limit this and not take too long. Flaring in and out a little bit as well, aren't we? Let's see if I'm missing anything in the first video without beard, says Jasper. I think I've done this once before where she took it down to the bone, but I didn't actually run the razor proper over, so I'm not sure it's quite the first, but almost. Okay, guys, the number 27. Facts and interesting tidbits about the number 27. It is a cubic number. 3 times 3 times 3 gives you 27, or 3 to the power 3, as a mathematician might say. Okay, it is the only integer that is 3 times the sum of the digits that make it up. So the digits, Tina go. The digits are obviously 2 and 7, which add up to 9. And the number itself, 27, is 3 times that 9, as we just discussed. This is the only positive integer where this is the case. Unless you want to prove me wrong, go find some others. Okay, folks, Tina girl, let's have some quiet. Tina! I said let's have some quiet. Which fact shall we go with next? I'll do them in the order I've got them written, even though we might have to loop back to some topics. The 27 Club. This is the oft observed phenomenon that people who make it famous young sometimes go a little bit off the rails and end up dead at the age 27, frequently through overdoses and okay, the tent just took a hit from the wind there. Not particularly foggy today, Jasper, no. Last Sunday, I didn't mention, last Sunday was particularly foggy. Monday also, and even into Tuesday we had fog. The Sunday one was spectacular in that it happened at lunchtime. It wasn't at the end of the day or early in the morning. It rolled in around lunch. I didn't mention it in last week's TrampCast. I was too caught up in other events from Sunday morning. If you remember. Back to the number 27 and the 27 Club. So some oft-cited deaths of people aged 27. Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. Okay, another fact about the number 27. The Earth's surface is said to be 72% covered by salt water, 1% covered by fresh water, leaving 27% to be land. I'm not sure how accurate this particular stat is, or how easy it is to measure, but that's the stat that they provide, so I'll go with it. A tennis? Shall I put my teeth back in and try again? A tennis court is 27 feet wide. It's 9 yards in old money. A Rubik's Cube, again we're back on 3 times 3 times 3. A Rubik's Cube, it consists of 27 cubes, 27 small cubes to make the overall puzzle. In the Old Testament, Leviticus, which is the law-giving book, has 27 chapters. This is the one that dictates kind of thou shalt not eat prawns. I know. More prawns, Vicar. For some reason, if it comes from the sea and doesn't have fins or scales, you're not supposed to eat it. Oh, Jasper's bringing up the interesting questions. Nothing related to number 27, though, is it, Jasper? Timing, my friend, timing. He's seen the video where I made some ginger beer, and he's asking if I'm going to make any more. Maybe one day. There's no firm plan, but anything's possible, my friend. That stuff came in handy when the old tent split end to end, and I spent the weekend in a bit of a depressed mood. Having 8 litres of ginger beer on hand was useful. Okay. Fruits of the sea without fins and scales. You're not supposed to eat them. So that's shellfish and things like that. I think a lot of these rules came about for health reasons. Prawns, mussels, etc. Often seafood of that type, shellfish, spoils easily. And if you're in hot countries like the Middle East, you're probably going to get ill more often than we modern folk with refrigeration and things. Anyway, Eddie Izzard. Remember him? Her? Not going there. I'm not getting involved in that discussion. I've got enough arguments on Twitter at the minute already. Check out my Twitter account if you want to see what we're arguing about at the minute. But Eddie Izzard, when he was a he, I'm dead naming, but whatever. He ran 27 marathons in 27 days and with almost zero training. Quite the achievement. He wasn't the fastest marathon runner, it has to be said. But he was all right. Fair play to him, and he raised money for charity. Okay, we always have a periodic table one, don't we? There's always some chemistry in here, even though I know nothing at all about chemistry. 27 is the atomic number of cobalt, which I literally knew nothing about, except for references to it in Battlestar Galactica. Don't start. Don't start. It's found on Earth individually in its pure form, very, very rarely under specific circumstances. Mainly, it's found in asteroids that have crashed to Earth. Is its kind of purest forms. But even then, it's often kind of melted and mixed with the other metals in the I'm going to say chondrite asteroids or meteors. I think that's the right word for the metallic ones that fall to Earth. I'm pulling that out of nowhere. I didn't read that this morning, so I probably shouldn't mention it. But I'm going to go with chondrite. I'll even have a go at spelling it. Condrite. There might be a H in there after the C, I'm not sure, but I'll have a check, and when I clip this and release this later, we'll put a correction or a confirmation on the screen, because sometimes I go off on tangents talking crap. You've never noticed, have you? Okay. It is usually found chemically combined with other, so not just in an alloy, not just melted with other metals, usually actually chemically combined into other forms. And the name, this I did read this morning. The name comes from the German word for goblins. Indeed, Jasper's there. Cobalt is used in batteries, in lithium ion batteries. Not lithium iron phosphate, but the other ones, the lithium ion batteries. So it's become quite lucrative, quite in demand in recent years. It's also been used historically throughout ancient history for its blue pigment effects in glassware and on pottery. Yeah, ceramics. And also another use for it, and I think this is my final factoid on this one, it's used as a catalyst in the petroleum refining industry. So it helps you get your petrol and your other crude oil products. Okay, folks, that was the number 27. Indeed, my friend, indeed. Jasper's just saying he's always on a tangent. I've noticed. We'll try and stay on topic though, mate. We'll try and stay on topic. Okay, guys. That was the number 27. Next in my running order is the getting to know you section or getting to know me. And I didn't really have anything. I struggled to come up with any topics for today. And so what I came up with in the end was in response to a couple of comments based on last weekend's incident with the Guardia Civil, which is one of the forms of police over here in Spain. I use the word police loosely. But some people suggested that I'm anti-police because of my attitude and referring to them as bacon. So the question I'm going to address today, and it's the only question I'm going to address in the Getting to Know You section, is am I anti-police? And if I am, to what extent and why? Or why I'm not? You decide. Now, I think I mentioned later on in the show last week that I've been involved in saving the lives of police officers in the past. There are two notable incidents. One, I'm not sure it would ever got to the stage of saving a life, but certainly saving him from getting a battering. And one where I'm almost certain that I did save the guy's life, and so was he. The rest of the police station, they wanted to lock me up and arrest me. Yeah. See why I might have a slight anti-police kind of bent. So I'll give you the story. It's 1989, and me and a guy that I'm sharing a flat with, sharing an apartment with, have gone out on the razzle, and we've taken a couple of young ladies with us. What am I at this point? I'm under 30. I'm about 30, 29, 30, somewhere in that range. And I said we've gone out, we've had a meal, and then we go on to a bar and then a nightclub. And the nightclub gets raided, and everybody heads for emergency exits. You know, we're all trying to get out before the police come running in with their wooden truncheons, as they were in those days. So we head for the doors, and the doors are literally chained on the inside. Major health and safety violation by the nightclub, but we'll not get into that. So we're kettled by these police. We're forced into certain areas. And we're looking around, looking for other exits, and I see a policeman lying on the floor with two men kicking his head. His hat, cap, whatever, it's like a cycle helmet, a bit of protection with he's lost the big helmet off the top, and he's got this crappy plastic lining from inside his helmet on his head. But these guys are kicking his head. And I stop them. It gets a bit pushy and shovey, but I step in where others probably wouldn't. And where nowadays I'd think twice. I probably still would though. I have a tendency, I was telling Karen this a few days ago, I have a tendency when trouble breaks out to move towards the trouble. Now stop it. I don't mean that I'm the cause of the trouble. Not usually. I move towards trouble with the intention of helping to stop the trouble, to calm things down, get in between people. So when these two guys are kicking this policeman in the head, I get involved. I get them away. I smack one of them and make him go away, and I get between the other one and the policeman. And the policeman's on the ground, kind of dazed and looking up at me. And I stay there and make sure that they don't come back and that nobody else has a pop. And I wait for the police to control the situation. And I've been separated from my friend and the girls. I didn't see them again that night. Was for obvious reasons. When the police gain control of the situation and they find me and this guy with his head kicked in, blood everywhere, nose probably broken. I never did find out the full extent. They arrest me because police. They put me in the back of the police van, and a couple of their colleagues are in the back of the van, giving a little bit of a little bit of roughy tufty on anybody who's thrown into the back of the van. And I'm here's the bottom of the van, the bottom of the doorway, the floor, and I'm marched. I'm in handcuffs, but I'm marched into the floor of the door and collapse inwards like that. Scars on my shins, bruises and cuts on my shins. And then the cops, they grab me, pull me in, a little bit of a pummeling in the back of the van, and off we go to the police station. And for the next 4 or 5 hours, they're questioning me about what I've done to this policeman and why. Fortunately, this guy, the policeman, comes walking back into the police station. And I'm being interviewed in the open. They've got so many arrests from this thing that people are just being interviewed at desks and in any office, multiple people interviewed at once. About it and at different desks in the same office. It's crowded. And this guy comes in and the police, they're clapping their pals' return. Fair play, camaraderie and support each other. But the guy walks up to me and offers to shake my hand in front of the rest of them. And they can't believe their eyes. They can't believe what they're seeing. And they're asking him, has he gone mad? They're saying, this is the guy that did it to you. And he's like, no. I lay on the floor, I looked up and I saw this guy pushing 2 others away. Fuck. Trying again, guys. Fuck. This has got to stop. Anyway, mixed feelings about the police from that event. But I unquestionably, in my mind, saved that guy's life. Wimbledon, 1989. Can't remember the name of the nightclub. Can't remember which police station I ended up at. But they didn't release me until about 10 o'clock the next morning, and they still wanted to charge me. Bastards. Another incident happened about 4 years later. Me and my wife, wife-to-be at the time, 93, we're out with friends, this time in Lancaster, near a little alleyway, a little ginnel called Francis Passage, Francis with 2 F's. And we see a commotion down this alleyway. And there's a gang of like 15 or 20, I'll call them kids, people between the age of 12 and 20. Christ knows how old, but gang of them. And there's a female special constable. For anyone who doesn't know, anyone not in Britain, special constables are like volunteer police. They're pretend police. They help out. They're doing their bit for the community. Most of them are wannabe police and don't make the grade in some way. But let's not get into that, because that makes me sound anti-police. This WPC stood there kind of doing nothing while her male colleague is in a doorway being beaten up by this entire crowd. And this police officer, the female one, she's just on the outside of the crowd. She's not even on her radioing for help. She's just kind of standing there like useless. So me and a couple of the others, like I said, it was me, a friend, and our girlfriends at the time. We all dive in. The 4, or I think we had a 5th. I think there was another guy with us. And we dive in and get the crowd off and shield the entire doorway. We keep them away. And we just put our backs to the crowd and push outwards and keep the crowd away from the guy. And they're still trying to kick in the gap. And the guy, he's gone to the ground at this point by the time we get in. But we keep them back. We keep them off him. And we had to go to court a few months later. That we were on the verge of having to give evidence in the court case. But the kid copped for a guilty plea on the morning of the trial. We were actually there in the building in court. I think he saw us and knew it was over. That's probably why he copped for the guilty at the last minute. But these are my experiences of what I would consider saving one life and saving another policeman from what could have been fairly serious harm because he'd gone to ground. He was on the ground with a crowd baying for him. So yeah, me and the police. And then of course I've got my incident here that's keeping me here, where a policeman just walked up, shook handcuffs in my face. When I said, "Whoa, that's not necessary," got his baton, gave two kind of indications, two waggles of it. "I'm going to hit you in a second." And I said, "You're joking!" And he hit me twice on the arm, twice on the leg. And then they rugby tackled me to the ground, had me in handcuffs, and took me away. 15 seconds after they got out of the car, I was on the ground, handcuffed with two guys on my back, and 12 of those seconds was them just walking over. There was no interaction, there was no chance, there was no question, what's happening, what's this about, what's the problem. There was no investigation, there was no nothing. Just straight to waving handcuffs, baton, smack, 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 rugby tackle. These are my experiences with police. I consider myself a generally law-abiding citizen, generally respectful of authority and the police, but I've got a growing hesitancy, a growing reluctance to show that respect anymore. Respect is supposed to be deserved, it's not automatic. And they're not living up to their end of things, in my humble opinion. Okay, folks, as I said, it's the only topic I'm addressing in the getting to know you section. I have done more for the police in my life than they have done for me. I held up my side of being a good citizen. They've abused theirs on multiple occasions. We won't even talk about COVID. Give them a new power and watch how quickly they jump to it. I'll be getting the YouTube warning. Okay, folks, here endeth the getting to know you section for this episode. I'll have a quick check of the chat messages, see what I've missed. Oh, Jasper's asking questions about corporal punishment in school. I'm a fan of it. I think that when a teacher gives an instruction to children, it's inherent. Whenever you give anybody an instruction that you want them, or that you feel that they have to follow, there has to be an or else. You have to be able to back up, do this or stop doing that, because. And because if you don't, this will happen or that will happen. Even if it's not the first place you go. Even if you go with, "Oh, we'll tell your parents," or "Oh, we'll do this," or "You'll get detention." If they don't stop, there has to be somewhere to go. You have to leave room to escalate. And I think that corporal punishment in school allowed that. On the flip side, I knew some teachers at school who went straight to physical violence. Games teachers especially liked to pick people up by grab them by the clothes and lift them off the ground. Or at least press them against walls really hard. So a balancing act, like with most things, which is an answer that I just gave on Twitter to something, and that's blown up in my face. Okay, all things in balance, all things. Okay, folks, we move on. Next in the running order are the thank yous for this week. Let me look at my list. I need to look at this one carefully. Okay. Now, last week, during TrampCast, we had 2 donations actually during the show. Helen and Bella, Belinda. I don't know how many names you need. But thank you both very much for the donations. And I think at least one of them came with the for alcohol kind of instruction. So that, along with my friend Karen, who's also contributed towards the beer fund for this particular episode, Thank you, guys and gals. Well, girls so far, isn't it? Thank you, girls. Now, cheers. Cheers to all of the people who I'm saying thanks to. I'm having to shout, folks, because the phones are further away than normal. And this microphone can be a little bit quiet. And so I need to lubricate the throat a bit more. Now, also this week, we have a new member of the €20 Plus Club. Sven. Thank you. And I'm enjoying reading the emails so far and answering them. I answered one this morning. It might have been there a couple of days. Guys, you can email me anytime, but it'll probably take me 2 or 3 days to get around to checking the email account. Delta Mike Torrevieja at gmail.com. I welcome your emails. Open up a direct channel of communication. It's fairly direct. It's not in public. It's not in YouTube comments or in the chat in a live stream. You want to talk to me directly? We can arrange something. And that's what my new friend Sven did, along with, like I said, a PayPal donation. Thank you, sir. Now, today, whilst I was preparing my TrampCast notes, we had some visitors at the camp here, and I wrote their names down because I'm terrible with names. I had to ask 3 times while we were out there talking, and as soon as they left, I wrote them down straight away because otherwise I wouldn't know them. So, Anthony, Ronan, and Linda. Hello, my new friends. And they came to the camp and left a small consideration. Again, puts them in the €20 Plus Club. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now, people, there's one more. I think it's every week. But my friend Karen, who came to, she's back in Spain. She came and trimmed my beard. I didn't want a haircut this time, mainly because I've not washed it since the last one. I don't think I'd washed it then. I'm a bit behind on the hair washing and the conditioning. Okay, she's back here, and she brought me a few things around. A little Yorkshire pudding tray dish, you know, a 4-bowl Yorkshire pudding tray, a loaf tin, some chocolate hobnobs, some oils and essences that apparently rats don't like. So I'm going to mix those up and have a spray around out here, because just out. Oh, hold on. We're missing a step, aren't we, so far? Tradition, folks. Tina, go. There we go. Say hello. Say hello to the peoples. There she is. And I turned the camera around to show you out here. This is where the rodentia, over there somewhere behind this bush, and maybe 3 meters out, there's a nest of something. There's holes in the ground. I'm not sure if it's rats or mice at this particular spot. But since I've been pouring noxious liquids down these various holes, we've had a lot less trouble from them. But like I said, Karen's brought me some smellies some oils that they don't like the smell of, apparently. So we're going to give those a try, as well as my own, I was going to say homemade. I make them personally, these noxious substances. Thank you to the person who sent me the tip. I can't remember who it was, but I'll have a look on the emails and thank whoever that was that sent me that tip. It seems to be working, even though science says not. But who knows? Science doesn't know everything, folks. Science isn't a list of settled facts. Science is the process by which we evaluate a list of facts and update them in light of new evidence. If anybody ever tells you the science says, tell them to shut up. Me included. Science is not settled on anything ever. It's always open for reevaluation. Okay, where was I? I'm in the Thankyous still, aren't I? Karen. Tangents, folks, tangents. Karen also took me out, was that yesterday? Bloody hell. Because we got talking about something and she decided to take me to look for something because you notice the name of this particular episode. What did I call it? The purchase uncertainty. There's a thing that I'm mulling over. And if I do it, it has consequences. And it needs follow-up steps and other inputs. Now, it would make a remarkable change to my circumstances. But it's a big step, and it means spending your money. The money that's been donated and that I'm sitting on. So it's a big step, and I'm considering it, and I'm considering carefully. But my friend Karen decided to take me out and do some kind of window shopping, or maybe even actual shopping. We failed in the actual shopping side, but while we were out, she took me for breakfast, which is the first cooked meal I've had out in, well, since I've been a tramp, I think. Since I've been homeless. 18, 19, 20 months, whatever number we're up to. I don't think... Now, Damien brought me fish and chips here once. So that's... But I'm talking about the first one where I've been at an establishment and eaten. So it's been a while. So thanks for that as well, Karen. And for all the other offers. And for the contribution towards the refreshment fund. If you're playing along at home, drink. Even you, Christine, drink. That will get me into trouble. Also, that will lose me subscribers. Hey, like I said last week, for every one of you that says he shouldn't be drinking, it's a disgrace, blah, blah, he's spending our money on booze, there's somebody who sends me money and says, buy booze. I do my best to honour my donors' instructions and requests. Them's the rules, folks. Them's the rules. That's how charity is. You have to honour the what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't got the vocabulary. I'll go with instructions, but it's not the word I was going to go with. You have to honour the instructions of the donor as much as possible. Okay, folks. Oh, one more person to thank. I almost missed there because I wrote it as an aside. This is my friend Mark, who comes round to the camp, I think 3 or 4 times now he's been. And Mark came specifically to check up on whether I was still here after the events of last Sunday, where the Greensleeves tried to move me on. So Mark came around and checked that I was all right, checked that that things are okay. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, my friend. I'm trying to remember, was it this week or previously that you brought the quilt? Was that last week? I don't know if I've thanked you for that already. So I'll say thank you again now, and I'll edit it out when I cut this if I've already done that. No, I won't. I'll leave it in. Show what a clown I am. Bad memory, folks. Bad memory. Okay, guys. I think that is it for the thank yous this week. More next week, hopefully. it's a big purchase, and if I go ahead, guys, it's going to leave me. It's going to make things tight on the monetary front, but it's going to change life here in the camp. This is why the uncertainty. This is why the uncertainty. Big step. Big step. And I'm a ponderous person who doesn't make decisions easily. I don't generally make rash decisions. I kind of sit and stew on things for too long. So anyway, that's what's going to be on in the future. The decision will have to be made sooner or later. Okay, that's it for the thank yous. Again, thank you all. Next in the running order, guys and gals, themes for the week. The themes for the week. And I struggled to kind of make a list of what this week's been about. It's been a quiet week on the whole. On the whole, quiet. But a few things hanging over my head. One was wondering whether my pals from last Sunday would return. Whether there would be paperwork in hand in initiating eviction proceedings. So far not. But it hangs over you. Like this morning, a car came down this road and stopped, or appeared to stop. And straight away, I'm worried. Is it them? Is this it? It was about the right time. It was in that 8:30 to 8:45 time slot that they occupied last week. So I was worried, and when I'm worried, I'm literally sweating. I'm you know, it's not a nice feeling, and it's a malodorous sweat when you're stressed like that. It is in my case anyway. I'm stinky when I sweat under stress, and I'm a tramp, so I'm probably stinky anyway. You know. So that's been a thing hanging over my head all week, and will continue to do so. Will continue to do so. Well, okay, guys. What else? What else? Other themes for this week. Other themes. I've lost my place on wish listing. This is the product purchase uncertainty, and thinking about what kind of changes it will make and what else it might enable in the future. What other purchases might either be needed or might be useful to go along with this thing. Wheels are grinding inside my, the cogs are turning. The steam is coming out of my ears while I ponder these possibilities, and possibilities together with obligations, together with, like I said, trying to do right by you guys, because I don't want to spend your money lightly. That's not, I owe a, I owe you the consideration of spending your money wisely and thoughtfully and in the best way for me, because that's the target, that was your intention giving me the money, for me to use it to best look after me. God, this sounds me, narcissistic. Don't mean it like that. I just hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm trying to be considerate of you guys and your money. That's enough on that for now. We'll probably come back to it. Another thing of this week. It's a new tent. I've been in it about 2.5 weeks now. And it's picked up its first damage already. I don't know if you saw the video. Tina damage and destruction. Or Tina death and destruction. Where is she? I'll point you at her again once more. Oh, I'm on power. I'm on a cable. There she is, look, just behind me. It looks like butter wouldn't melt. Looks can be deceptive. Our appearances can be deceptive. I had a visitor, and he stood at the door Well, I had the door open, it was the mesh, the mosquito net, and Tina just launches right at the net to say hello to the guy. It's an old friend, someone who helped me when I was first homeless, when I lived in the park for 2 months. And he popped round, and Tina saw him and leapt at him. But there was a wire mesh in the way. That's my girl. So that was on a little bit of a downer about that, because this thing was expensive. I paid half. You paid half. Well, between all of you that are out there, you all paid. You paid for it, because the other half is out there. I don't know. I'm talking myself around in circles. It's a lot of money, and to get 2 weeks out of it to the day before she starts putting holes in it. Nah. I love her. I'll just keep telling myself I love her, and maybe I'll get over it. Okay. Now another thing that happened this week, and that was a fairly big deal for me. You remember 4 lights? It never happened, and it never will. I was moving the solar box, the battery box and solar panels and the charge controller out from inside the tent where I put it at night so I can charge from it. I was moving it out into the sun through the day. Didn't have to do that with the old tent, because it could just go out with the wires would go out with the door and reach around and be where they needed to be. In this location now with the longer tent, it doesn't quite work that way. I'm having to carry it in and out. And something happened at some point, and do you remember a few months ago I added a second panel, and the charge controller is only built for one set of wires, a positive and a negative, coming in from the solar. So I joined together the 2 positives and the 2 negatives, and was pushing in more wire than the charge controller was comfortable with. And while I was moving it the other day, I saw too much copper. The wires weren't in and being gripped by the screws inside the charge controller. So I decided I had to do some surgery on the charge controller. You know, I had to undo the wires and redo them. And what I thought I would do was take the opportunity. If you remember Mark and Jeff, who gave me this system, and who provided the second panel and everything, they also gave me a second charge controller, a newer, better charge controller. And I thought I would take the opportunity to put that into play. So while I was undoing all the wires and tidying them up and better joining them together, I took the decision to put them into the new charge controller and set that up. And it doesn't have 4 lights. This one has a digital readout. So I never achieved 4 lights from this system with that particular setup, and I now never will. So that's something that needs what's the word? Commemorating, I guess, to the old charge controller. It's still good, and we'll find a use one day, but it's no longer primary in my current system. Okay, folks. Now, my friend Jasper out there. Jasper's here, I think, still. My friend Jasper had some bad news this week. He experienced a loss. If any of you have been to Jasper's site, Jasper's YouTube channel, go and have a look. Go and take a look. I'll post a link. I don't think I've done so yet, but I will post a link in the description and the pinned comment afterwards. And he's a bit of an iconoclast. He's a bit idiosyncratic. He's very much an individual, as we've discussed already from his kind of stream of consciousness posting of comments. But go and have a look. Go and have a look at the lad's YouTube channel, and Jasper once upon a time took in 3 sheep that I think were going to be put down at the time. He took them in, and he lost 2 of them over the years, and he was left with just one, Heinrich, and he lost Heinrich this week. I think it was Friday. He had the vet round, and the vet for a while now. Jasper's been having to help Heinrich get up off the ground, and arthritic joints and things. And he had the vet around this week, and the vet called time. The vet said, too much pain for the poor soul. So Heinrich was put down, and this actually knocked me a bit on. Like I said, I think it was Friday night. It was late at night when Jasper found me on Twitter and told me, because I just started watching his channel and looking through the back catalogue of videos, getting to know them. And you're just getting to know someone. It's a sheep, I know, but someone. They have personalities. They are individuals. I was just getting to know the pair of them, and Heinrich is gone. So, Jasper, sorry mate, sorry for your loss, and R.I.P. Heinrich. Rest in peace. It did affect me a bit. You've seen I'm a bit of a soft Jesse. You've seen this. Bursting into tears talking about some copper getting his head caved in. Well, about him walking at the police station thanking me. Almost the same thing. Okay, folks. Those are themes and major events of the week. We're coming up on 52 minutes. Shall we begin? Okay. This is episode 27 of TrampCast. And we're about to begin the events of the week proper. Starting, as we do, with last Sunday. Now, as I said, usually I will start with after the TrampCast, because I haven't had a chance to tell you about it. But as I've already discussed, there was things happening last Sunday that I didn't get to in the TrampCast itself, because the Sunday was dominated by me ranting about my my experiences with the local authority. So I think we touched on it already, that I was sat out having coffee Sunday afternoon, late morning, and I thought I saw smoke over the bay, over on the next cliff tops, and I thought I could see smoke from a building over here, and I thought it was wafting from the building over to the cliff top. But on closer inspection, we could see it was actually going the other way, and it wasn't smoke. There wasn't a smell of smoke. There was no fire engines. There was no alerts. It's just this really eerie, misty, foggy, smoky-looking stuff hanging on the ground over the way. And over time, it kind of closed in on us, and it was really. I don't think I've ever seen, and I've lived at the seaside most of my adult life. I spent a lot of time at the seaside as a kid, the whole of the 6 and 7 week holidays, like from the night we left school until the night before we went back, 6-7 weeks at a time. The first line of caravans before the beach. So I've seen the sea, I've seen mists and things, but they're usually first thing in the morning or last thing at night. This came rolling in at lunchtime on a sunny day. That was quite. I'd done video. There's a video out there. It's one of the videos of the week. I think I waited until Tuesday or Wednesday to release it, because other things were. The video about the Guardia Civil was doing well in the first half of the week. And when you've got videos that are running, videos that are doing well, you don't put out other videos. You hang back and let YouTube do its thing. Let it run with the ones that it's got. So I'm told. So yeah, that was last Sunday, and then we did TrampCast, obviously, and I thought it went quite well. I ranted a little bit when we got to the Sunday portion. I might clip that and release it as its own video. I might not. I'll have to watch it back and see how embarrassed I am by my rant. I think my rant was justified. I think my points were well merited. I'm not sure they were well made because I was angry. I'll have to watch it back and decide. Hey Tina, what are we chewing? Oh, it's a bone. Okay, that's okay. Tina's okay. Daddy's okay. We're all okay. So yeah, I on the whole I enjoyed the broadcast last week. I enjoyed myself. Like I said, I got a bit carried away at the end on the Sunday one about the police being here. You know, these things happen. I do rant like in real life, you know. I am opinionated, and it's okay. It's okay for people to hold differing opinions. I don't end a friendship or something because someone holds an opposing political view, or votes for a different party, or holds different opinions on certain topics. I'm more grown up than that. But I will rant. I have my opinions. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stream on the whole. I haven't played it all back yet, though, as I've just said. So we'll see how that goes. What else? The viewing figures during last week's live stream, they were pretty good. Like during it while it was live, a lot of people coming in and watching a fair chunk. Not so great afterwards. The people who don't make it here while it's live, I'm not sure if they don't find it or if it's just not of interest while it's not live. You tell me, maybe in the chat or in the comments after. Why do we not watch this? Is it the length? You're not going to start watching a video when you can see it's 2.5 hours long. I download them myself and play them back, sometimes with the screen off. There are apps, go find them. YouTube doesn't allow me to tell you which ones are where. YouTube doesn't allow them to download the videos, but they're out there. The apps have usually got the word downloader in them, but they'll tell you explicitly sometimes in the write-up that it doesn't work with YouTube. Give it a try. Give them a try. Because then you can put them kind of on audio. You know, you don't have to be watching the screen. There's nothing overly visual about this particular podcast. It's just looking at my ugly mug. Or Ernest Hemingway's, maybe. I could just be doing some AI thing with his head, with his face. If I am, I'm bloody good at this computer stuff, aren't I? Okay, what else? Oh, Sunday. Me and my love-hate relationship with Labara last weekend. Last Sunday was the renewal of my monthly for weekly pay-as-you-go subscription. The one where they tell me how I've got 90-something gigabytes of that month's allowance left. And not to worry, because any unused allocation rolls over and will be saved for the future, for the next month. That's what they tell you. It's what it says in the text message that they send that morning. Of course, you know it's a lie. We've discussed it before. They limit the rollover supposedly to 50 gigabytes plus whatever you're paying for that next month. Here's the thing, guys. They actually rolled over 52.5 gigabytes. Get that? How did my 90 gigabytes become 52 or 52.5? Somebody needs to look into this. I almost swore. Stuff. Somebody needs to look into this stuff. It isn't as they say it is. But anyway, that's me and my love-hate relationship with Labara. From what I can tell, all phone companies the world over, they're all as bad as each other. It's all a big scam. They provide a service, not surface. They provide a service. It's never as good and reliable as they say. It always somehow costs more or is underwhelming in its performance. When they fall short, they don't do anything to compensate you for the lost service if it goes out for an hour or two every now and again. There's no recompense. They're all as bad as each other. Okay, let's kick on. Tina! Hey! Shush! Quiet! It's just people walking past. Quiet! You get in trouble. Sunday night. Finally, Sunday. After we'd all locked up and safely kind of gathered. A little bit of movement all around. It's windy, so it's difficult to tell. Well, I'm fairly sure we had movement both sides of the tent. From if I can hear them, it's probably rats. The mice are kind of silent, more or less silent. Tina girl, quiet. Tina, hey, come here. Go around that side. Go there. Tina's bed. Go on through. Go on the bed. Where are you going? You're not going where I'm telling you to go. Okay. So, Sunday night into Monday morning. I'm playing about, and I'm looking at the previous TrampCasts, TrampCast 24. And I know I've got a backlog. I've got to catch up with creating these snippets, these clips. And I've gone in there to hive off the themes section of TrampCast 24. But while I'm there, I notice a bit of wording, and I make a 60-second short instead and release that as like an advert for TrampCast. Which does okay, moderately okay. Gets a couple of hundred views. And a few subscribers, which is what the intention is. But subscribers this week have been up and down, and not really gained much. We've basically been hovering around 777 plus or minus all week. I think we started the week on about 770, or maybe just under. We got through 770 and up to 775, and then to 777. But every time I release a new video, I seem to start off by losing 3 subscribers. And then it takes a day or 3 to claw them back. Then release a new video and we lose a couple again. Now, one theory is that these are bots and that Google/YouTube are removing the bots from the subscriber list. My other theory is that there's a few Puritans out there that don't like to see me swigging beer. I can't help you folks. Okay, so while I'm making this video, this short, I'm waiting to see whether it works or not. We get, I've got cars coming past and stopping. I'm in the bedroom, so I can't see out. But every time a car comes to a crawl outside, I've got this feeling. I've got this, especially with Monday being just the day after they'd been here, and them saying they were going to come back. Now I'm a bit more at ease with it all because it's been a week. I figure if they were going to do something, they'd have been here by now. Probably. So I'm starting to think that it's like other people said, and like it has been on the other occasions. Flexing their muscles, wanting to shout and look big and clever, and now I called their bluff and it's too much work for them to do anything, or they can't do anything, and they've probably gone away for another month or so. I hope. But they'll be back. But every time a car comes past on the Monday, Tuesday, the first half of the week, I've got that in the back of my mind. Okay. Okay, so on the Monday, I put together the video of the mist from the Sunday. But I don't think I released it at that point. I think it was on the Tuesday that I released it. I'd have to check. But yeah, I got ready for that being released. And Monday evening, just as it was going dark, or just before it went dark, this is when Mark came to the tent and checking that that I haven't been hauled away or moved on, or that they haven't just like put a bulldozer through the camp. So that's nice that he comes around. It's thoughtful that he comes to see see how I'm doing, check that everything's okay. Thank you, Mark. This is the guy on Twitter. His handle is something like Mark is a Wombo, as in Mark is a Wombo, but spelt with Z's and things because clever. I don't know. There's also a claim about being 3 times British windsurfing champion, but I'm not sure whether that's in jest. I'll ask him the next time I see him. Okay. So this is where a new habit of mine emerged this week, or over the last couple of weeks, I guess. I'm in my nice armchair, folks. You can see, can you see that this is an armchair? Can you see that? Look. Oh, look at that. Maybe I should have been holding the camera here all along. You see this nice chair? I'm in a bloody tent with an armchair, a rug, coffee table that's got lots of things on it. But let me see if I can give you a quick... Well, so you're on a laundry bin on a chopping board come serving tray with my phone stand. Here's a dog. You might have met her before. Hey, Tina. But the dog's on a nice big rug that stretches all the way back there. Got my big coffee table that's full of crap because I had to take stuff off the laundry bin. And like I said, I'm in this big armchair. Not bad for a tramp. But the point I was making is my new habit is to fall asleep in this chair on an evening. Usually somewhere between 10 and 12. And then to wake up somewhere between 3 or 4 in the morning and go off to bed proper. It's a bad habit, but it's quite enjoyable. I've always liked having my night's sleep broken into 2 halves. In the old, I think I've talked about this before, in the old days, before electric lighting, families used to kind of do this naturally. They would go to bed 8, 9, 10 o'clock, whatever, as soon as it's dark, and somewhere 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they'd get up for an hour. Sometimes the whole family, sometimes just whoever's awake, but they'd go downstairs, put a fire on, and sit around, maybe have a cup of coffee or something, and go back to bed for their second sleep. So I'm kind of reuniting with tradition. I've been doing this ever since I've been a tramp again, ever since I've been a tramp, ever since I've been homeless. Back when I used to just lay on a sunbed mattress out here. Back when I didn't know what time of day or night it was. I would just naturally wake up in the middle of the night and have an hour or 2 awake and then go back to sleep. It's quite nice. It's quite a useful way to be. It's quite calming. And you get things done. I get videos edited and or keywords amended. I get to edit the videos that are already out there. Edit the title and the keywords and maybe turn a video that's not working into one that will work by getting it in front of the right people. Tweeting it or doing a YouTube community post. So yeah, that's useful. But my new habit, falling asleep in my nice big comfy chair. Thank you, Karen. and family. Okay, folks, so Monday night, fell asleep. Tuesday morning, woke up in the chair, 4:30, and went to bed, as I've said. When I did wake up, 9 in the morning, on this occasion, I didn't feel like I'd slept. I was tired still, wanted another hour. But the sun was up, and the tent was starting to get warm, and I have a morning routine of things I have to do. These, let me show you the bedroom doors. Show you this one. So here's one end of the tent. This is a double door. The door this side and a door this. The bedroom inside there can be split in half with a divider into two bedrooms where you could get a double bed in each. I just got a double bed on my half. But when the sun gets up, these get hot. I'll show you the other side. You might be able to make it out more easily. These get hot quickly, and especially this side, because this is the south facing end. The sun's on this end all day. It gets warm down there. I have to open these doors to let the air circulate, and I have to open the outer door. Looking at now here, this is the actual door. I have to open the blue part is the fabric of the door. I've half opened it. I have to open that and leave the mesh closed so the air can circulate and we don't bake inside. I'm going to hold that for a while. I'm going to hold that for a little while. In fact, I'm going to hold it differently. I'm going to try and hold it like that. See if I can't get some light on me. There. How's that? That's better. Okay, folks. So Tuesday morning routine, getting up and opening these doors and getting the airflow air circulating so that we don't bake, because it is it's Spain, it's hot. So I wanted to go back to bed but couldn't. I had to get up. And this, I sat out with Joby for a while, the other guy in the field. We had some coffee, came back in, and this is when the guy turned up, a visitor, an old friend who'd helped me when I was in the park. And this is where Tina did her damage and destruction bit and put her clothes through the wire mesh. Yeah, I was a little bit upset. But I have a way forward. I've got a little sewing kit here. I'm going to get on with repairing it one day when we haven't got too much wind, when everything's not blowing about. So we'll get on with that. And yeah, this is when I released the fog video about Sunday, and that one ran and ran. That did okay. That did well. Yeah, people like that video. And this is also the day where Joby, like I said, the other guy here, he walked out of the camp, and there was some dog food, a bag of dog food left on the little path out of camp, which obviously been left for Tina. Half a bag, someone's opened it and had half. I don't know if their dog didn't like it. I don't know if maybe they're going home and left it, or if they've just been generous and helping a tramp out and his dog. So yeah, we got some dog food. And also later the same day, a lady stood on the road shouting and waving, and I thought she was pointing at something. I walked over, but no, she was waving a note at me. So I thanked her and brought that in. She gave the instruction that money was not for vino. Honour the instructions of your donors. Her money will not be spent on any form of alcohol. I could have been pedantic and said, oh, it's beer, not wine. But no. Honour your donors and their instructions. So that was nice. I think the lady said she was going back. I think she said going back to Germany any day now. So wanted to help me out while she's still here. While she saw me. I split the money with the other guy because people don't know he's here, but he's going to need help as well. So yeah. And that evening, the guy Joby, it's not his real name, his nickname, but Joby gave me a hand. You know, I've been cleaning out the camp, reorganising, moving things and sorting things, deciding what to keep and what not to keep, because over time some things have become redundant, some things I don't need anymore. But I can't be doing like 20 trips across to the bins in one day and you know, leaving a big pile that brings attention and gets me in trouble. So we've done it piecemeal. 2 or 3 trips to the bins every couple of days. And he's been helping me, been a big help. He's also better at the decision making than me. I told you I'm a bit ponderous, a bit thoughtful, a little bit, you know, I put things off. He pushes me to just make the decision and live with it. Something I need, stop the procrastination. That's the word I was struggling for a few seconds ago and couldn't come up with quickly enough. Procrastination. So yeah, so that was Tuesday, and this is where we hit 775 on the subscribers, and then the next day 777, and then it starts messing about, going up and down. But right now we're probably still in the same place. 3 times we've been up to 779 and not hit 780. 3 times up to... Now sometimes we fall back to 777 and sometimes all the way back to 775. Guys, I'm a tramp in a field. I need help, I need subscribers. Don't mess me about. You're toying with me, you're playing with me. Okay, Wednesday, coffee with Joby. And it's supposed to be, if you remember last Sunday I said that the first 3 days of the week were going to be cloudy. We were going to struggle for solar. But we kept getting sneaky bits. We get an hour here or an hour there of good sun. And Wednesday was supposed to be cloudy all day. And it was actually alright. We did okay for sun in the end. And because it was a nice day, we went for a walk. And I showed him a supermarket that he didn't know about. So we went there and had a look. Because here's another thing. This could even have been a theme of the week. Prices are starting to go up again. We went to Mercadona one day early in the week. And I wanted some coffee. I'm getting low. Or I was getting low. And a jar of coffee that was £2.50 a few days ago was suddenly €3. Now that's a hell of a jump. That's a hell of a jump, 20% increase in one go. Fuck off. Not having that. So we went and had a walkabout and just looked at a supermarket that has different products. He was looking for some wasabi. I was looking, you know, just in general, and it was just a good walk. It's nice to get out. Gonna put this down. It's getting heavy, folks. Oh, it's getting heavy on me. But he went out to another supermarket another day, I think yesterday, and he came back with some that was £2.55 or £2.59, which is closer to the £2.50 I used to pay. But that's a reasonable price increase. Not from £2.50 to £3. That's just ridiculous. For the same size jar, for the same size product, up from £2.50 to £3. I'm a tramp, I can't afford that. So yeah, good walk. It's a fair distance. It's not, you wouldn't go there and fetch heavy stuff back. You're not going to carry 8 litres of water back from this other supermarket. But it's a doable one for small items. Something they used to do, they didn't have this time while I was there. They used to sell chicken carcasses. After they've butchered and cut off, you know, the legs and breasts and wings and what have you, there'd be the offcuts and the carcass itself sometimes. And I used to buy them to boil up for soup, or sometimes I'd cut them in half and use half for soup and give Tina the other half, because it's, you know, it's raw. It's just a carcass. It's okay. You're not supposed to give dogs cooked chicken bones because they get soft. But I think raw is okay. So I looked, they didn't have them on this occasion, but we'll go back another time. We're going to start looking around different supermarkets rather than just going to the one all the time, because the rate that prices are going up, it's getting ridiculous. You've got to shop around and see where you can get the deals. Now this was another one where the sun was out that day, but it was windy. And that evening, the tent was taking a real battering. But then the wind moved around slightly, and what happens, I could still hear that it was windy in the distance. I could still hear the sea. It was really rough with the wind whipping it up, but it kind of died down here. It just moved around enough that these trees behind me, there's a bank of trees on two sides of this field, and when the wind's in the right direction, it shields us from it. So I could hear that it was windy out there. The roof of the tent would get the occasional ripple, but we weren't being blasted like we had been earlier in the evening or late in the afternoon. So that was fortunate. That was fortunate. But looking at the weather forecast on Wednesday, I said that on Sunday they'd predicted three days of cloudy, and we'd had little bits of sun and kind of managed for solar, for charging the phone, tablets and lights and things. I've got a solar powered lamp. Thank you, Karen. And we've managed. But I was expecting the next time I looked at the weather forecast to see that like Thursday, Friday, Saturday were going to be sunny. So there I am on Wednesday looking at the weather forecast after 3 days of fairly cloudy days. And the weather forecast is for 4 or 5 more days of cloud. Fuck! Do without that. Do without that. I'm in the middle of a battle for survival. I have solar capabilities. I just need the sun to shine. Okay. Into Thursday. Okay, I've already said Karen. This is the day that Karen came around, bearing gifts. And the loaf tin, the Yorkshire pudding tin, veg peeler, you know, the razor type one, the ones that you scrape. What else? Bars of soap. Cannot get bars of soap here. It's this liquid gunk stuff that I'm not a fan of. I like to be able to roll my bar of soap up in my towel after I'm finished and just, you know, put it away. Bottles with dispensers and liquid. Yeah, they leak, they get lost, the plunger gets pressed by accident and makes a mess. The things just leak out. Somebody stands on the towel and the whole thing just squeezes out. All sorts of rubbish can happen with liquid soap. I like a bar. I'm old-fashioned. Bar soap for me, please. And she also brought me chocolate hobnobs, which I haven't seen in Spain. To see how spoiled I am, guys. So, and like we said, she also ran the hedge trimmers over my face. And if you're lucky, I may run a proper razor over and take the rest off. Be a proper clean shaven Trump. Votes in the comments, in the chat. Would you like to see me clean shaven for once? We'll let the viewers decide. And guys, if you haven't, thumbs up please, it would be appreciated. Gives YouTube a signal. Lets them know that you're enjoying me. I didn't have time to promote the TrampCast, so I made it really late. Hello Miami Rose. I didn't have a chance to promote the stream much before we went live. I'd only just finished setting it up and pushed the button to send it out on Twitter and what have you. So there's not as many of you here as they usually are. Jasper, tell me that's a joke. I use sheep soap. I don't even know what sheep soap. You don't take a dip. You're not in the sheep dip. You gotta be careful with that stuff. I don't know, Jasper. You gotta go look at his channel, folks. You gotta go look at Jasper's channel. Especially when he tries cycling in the snow. Oh, you see, we're evening up a bit now. We're evening up a bit. Even if I shaved it, the stubble will be back in a day or two. You know what I mean? It grows like fungus. It'll be back in no time. Okay, well, you guys carry on debating that amongst yourselves. I will crack on. I will crack on. Oh, Thursday, yeah, we had more wind. The wind carried on. In fact, I mean, you can see now, maybe. It's still windy out there now. Quite gusty. Now, Thursday was also the time I was mulling this significant purchase. It kind of drills away at me. Wish lists become wants, becomes burning a hole in your pocket, which is why I have to think it over carefully. Why is this not? From lanolin. The chemicals are extracted from lanolin, which is wool, isn't it? Okay, where am I? Mulling the purchase. Yeah, that was a big thing. Karen being here and the beard trim. So, folks, takes us to the end of Thursday. Really, nothing much else happened that day. I sat and chatted with Karen for a few hours. She brought me some water as well. She's always bringing me water, which is useful because I think we're about to get a water source again, but it's the untrusted stuff. But it'll be good enough for washing dishes and I've got disposable razors, Jasper. I can take at this level. I can take this off. This amazed me. I don't think I've mentioned this. I've got a Gillette Mac 3, 4, 5, whatever. I've got one of them, and I had this plastic thing with blades. You know, the heads of you swap out the whole head, don't you? Had that a couple of years in a bag, and thought it would have gone bad by now. But I pulled it out the other day, and they're in pristine condition. They're perfect. They're mint condition. Now I bought a pack of what I thought was 5 disposable razors. And when I've taken them out of the bag, I couldn't get them out properly. I couldn't work out what was going on. And there was 10 of them all interlocked, 5 at one end and 5 at the bottom end, kind of hooked together weirdly. I got 10 disposable razors and 4 heads for a Mac. I'm going to say 3. I don't know. But yeah, I got razors. I can handle this. Okay, so that was Thursday. Into Friday. The forecast for Friday, things were looking up. Cloud with some sun. That was the forecast. Remember, sunny all day. Maybe a little bit of hazy stuff high up, but it was sunny all day. Topped up the solar. Got my lantern fully charged, it's got its own little solar panel on the top. Thing works wonders as well. But this lantern, where is it? Is it here? It's within reach. This thing. It's got a solar panel on the top, and it has 3 light levels. One of them hurts your eyes, it's so bright, but it will only do that for 4 hours. The lowest light setting, which is kind of bright enough, will go for over 20 hours. And it seems to charge fully just from sitting out in the sun or just out in daylight. Marvellous. Leroy Merlin. I know I slated them. I slagged them off last week. They ruined last Friday for me because my mate wanted one of these and their website said it was in stock, and when he went it wasn't. Or they said it wasn't. And then the next day their website said it was in stock still. Not their biggest fan, but they seem to be solid products. What do you do? It's a good light. I've fallen asleep with that on and left it on until like 7 the next morning. No problem. Stick it out as soon as the sun comes up. Leave it out until mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Job's done. Okay guys, that was an aside based on what? Sunny all day, charging solar Friday. But the winds that we'd had, the water bottles, the empty water bottles that I've got out here that I keep, I don't throw them because we just take them and fill them again, or get some kind, generous folks to refill them for us, because we don't have a water source at the minute. But we got these empties out here, and the winds have just everywhere, all over the place. We spent about an hour gathering the bloody things back in. I've got a core of them that are on a rope and tied to a brick. So there's a core that stay more or less in place. But the ones that don't fit on the line, they travel. They travel. Sat with Joby most of the day, talking about this purchase and what it might mean, playing wish lists about other future things that will go with it, things that, you know, things that will return a bit of normality to life. Electricity, folks, electricity. Yeah, I'm still pondering. We're still playing. But I don't think I mentioned the specific day. I don't think I noted which day. This all happened because I was thinking about making this purchase, and I was like €6 short in my PayPal account. And this was when Sven, my new friend Sven, we haven't met yet, but we will shortly, in a month or so. This was when my new friend Sven sent some money through, which put me over the over the line. If I make the purchase, I've got enough now. But only just got enough would take us back to a really low level. Don't want to do anything rash, but still mulling it over. You can see how much it's kind of pulling at me. I am being pulled in that direction though. So this was basically the majority of Friday was just sat out here and doing wish lists and thinking about what a difference this item would make. So I'm doing this if then what kind of analysis in my head, and what else would we need to make this all go. Then Karen gets involved. I've spoken to you about Karen before. Now. So this was why I ended up going shopping on Saturday. Because Friday, Karen got involved. We'll get there. Don't rush me. Don't get ahead. So yeah, things take a turn once Karen gets involved. So anyway, off to bed. Friday night. As I've mentioned many a time, Friday Night Tights, my favourite YouTube program of the week. And it's American. And they're on daylight savings time. And the last couple of weeks I've missed the beginnings of it because I'm off by an hour. This time I knew when it was, and I was there at the start. So I'm there 9 o'clock it starts this week instead of 10 usual time, local time, Spanish time. So I'm there, I'm watching it. So obviously I fall asleep. I haven't watched it for about 3 weeks at the proper time. Tina, quiet. I haven't watched it at the proper time now for weeks. And this one time I'm here, I'm watching at the time it starts, and I fall asleep within the first hour. There's like 8 or 9 people on a panel, and they introduce each other and say what they've done all week. I fell asleep before we got around the introductions, before they finished introducing each other, or introducing themselves to each other. Bloody ridiculous. Favourite programme, and I'm falling asleep inside the first hour. And this thing can be on for 4, 5, 6 hours. It's good fun. But yeah. And again, the subs, the subscribers was up to 7, where were we? Up to 779, so about to hit 780. Back down to 777. Saturday morning, 775. The fuck? What are you doing? I'm amazing. Why are you unsubscribing? My mum told me I'm great. How dare you unsubscribe? Okay. So yeah. So after falling asleep ridiculously early, I wake up ridiculously early. 1:30 in the armchair. I go to bed, but I don't sleep again until about 8 in the morning. But what I do is I clip 4 sections from a previous TrampCast ready to be released as videos and get them all ready, all joined together, bits taken out that are irrelevant. Jasper taking me off on tangents. I try and cut them out and keep us on course in the clips when I release them. Hey Jasper. But I get them all ready to go, and I release one of them, but I know it's not going to be the best. You guys, nobody watches the numbers video, but I'm still doing them. So yeah. So I release that, or line them up for automatic release, and Karen drags me out Saturday morning. Off we trot. Window shopping stroke potentially really shopping. Maybe, possibly. And we fail at the shopping part. But she takes me for breakfast, as I mentioned earlier. The first time I've eaten a hot meal out, I think, since becoming... Don't get me wrong, I cook here. I've got cooking facilities here myself now, but I mean cooking out, like in an establishment, or sat outside an establishment. I don't think I've got it wrong. I don't think I'm misspeaking. I'm certainly not lying, not deliberately, but I don't think I've had a hot meal out at a restaurant or bar since becoming homeless. Friends have taken me to a bar and I've had an occasional beer. I think this was the first time I've been out and had a hot coffee out as well. I think. I'm trying to remember exact details over 18 or 19 months. But yeah, so thank you, Karen, again. Hey, what else? Not much. Came back here. We stood around and chatted for a while, and me, Karen, and Joby, and yeah, and then off she goes, and that's kind of the end of the day, really. I just sat inside. It was a little bit cool outside, Saturday, and I think it's probably starting to get windy again. So in we came, me and the dog. Closed all the doors early, and the vents, the flaps, I've mentioned before, I would open them generally through the day to get the air moving, but it was cool, so I got everything closed down. It did get a little warm in here at one point because the sun came out just after I closed all the doors and everything. But no, we were in for the night. Took the dog for a walk, came inside, and considered, because it's Saturday night, considered going to the shop and I haven't got baguettes. I've only got a little bit of chorizo, a few other bits and pieces, and I thought about going to the shop, but it sounded like it was really windy outside, and then some fireworks started. The Spanish love their fireworks, any excuse, and this weekend is the start of Semana Santa, or Santa Semana, whichever way around they put those two words, Holy Week. They have the whole week as Easter. It's a big holiday, religious country. And I think the Saturday night fireworks might have been somebody marking the beginning of festivities, the beginning of holidays. Maybe they've just arrived here from Madrid. I don't know. But my poor dog, she hates fireworks, and she's unpredictable if she's outside and fireworks go off. She's quite physical at the best of times. The lead that I've got is a long training lead. It's shorter now because it keeps snapping. She pulls on it so much. It's old, and it's now short and snappy. It's frail, fragile. Doesn't sound like the right word to discussing like leads breaking or ropes breaking. Fungible. It breaks anyway. So I don't want her out there frightened, pulling so hard that the line breaks, and then she takes off and more fireworks go off and she just runs from fireworks. Didn't want to risk that, so I kept her inside instead. We didn't go shopping. We just sat inside. Another one of my favourite programmes of the week, a bloke called Scruff Dog. Didn't even make it to the start of this one. Asleep in my chair. I don't know what's wrong with me. Narcolepsy, apparently. I woke up 5 minutes before his show ended. His show's 5 hours long. Something like that. So yeah, I literally woke up and went into the chat on his stream and said hello, because I do chat in the stream, in the chat. I take part. Hint, hint. So I said hello, and he said, "Oh, we're finishing in 5 minutes." That was that. So yeah, I just waited out the rest of the night, tweaked some videos, edited some bits and pieces, did some kind of search engine optimization on previous videos that have been released, just trying to tweak things and keep things moving YouTube wise. And then that brought us to Sunday, and as I said this morning, it looked to me while I was in the bedroom, it looked like it was sunny outside. And then I heard this car pulling up, and I thought, is it them? Is it the Guardia Civil? Come and get me. But I thought it was sunny, so I thought I better go and put my solar out, deploy my 2 solar panels, put my solar lantern out so that it can be ready for tonight. So I'm up. I wanted to stay in bed, but I knew the tent was going to start getting warm. I had to get the air flowing, as I've said before. And took Tina for a walk. And it's just a standard little walk, basically around the block, around this field and a couple of buildings over the way, over the road to dispose of the bag. And yeah, but while I'm at the bin, there's 4 new chairs. 4 chairs that go with, they're all white, they all seem perfect. One's got a slightly wonky leg, but it's got a screw type thing for tightening it, maybe. Even if not, I've got 3 good ones. So 3 new chairs, so now I've got to evaluate which of the others to get rid of. Because I wanted 1 more chair, because when I have a guest in the tent, I'm having to fetch one in and out from the plastic table outside. It'd be better if I just had a guest chair in here permanently, and 2 or 3 around the... You heard me. I'm a tramp talking about like my patio furniture and guest chairs and my armchair in my tent. What the fuck? I don't know, folks. I don't know. But 4 new chairs. But now, because I'm in the middle of this, or we're winding up the process of tidying the camp. I'm about to start now on tidying the tent again. These things are like the bloody Forth Bridge, the Forth Road Bridge. As soon as you finish kind of painting, it's time to start. As soon as you finish at one end, it's time to start back at the other. Clean the tent, clean the camp, clean the tent. So I've got to decide what I'm keeping and what I'm not with all the chairs and sunbeds, recliners and things that I've got outside. I've got more possessions now than I had when I was in a bloody apartment. People have put them out to be thrown away. They're there. They're fair game for whoever sees them first. And I see them first. So that was this morning. Coffee with Joby. And then I start on my TrampCast notes. Except Karen was texting me all the bloody time and I couldn't get anything done. No, it was as much me. It was as much me. But I did only just finish the notes like less than an hour before we got started. And then I had to make a thumbnail image and create the live stream and populate the description and keywords and all of that. You know, you have to select whether to be landscape or portrait, and it defaults to portrait. What the fuck? Who wants to watch a live stream that's that way up on a phone? They're trying to turn YouTube into TikTok, and it's not. I wish they'd stop. Anyway, as I was preparing, we had some visitors at the wrong side of the tent, shouting across from the road here. Friendly visitors, not the police. Friendly visitors, and I took down their name, Anthony, Ronan and Linda, who came by and offered me a little bit of cash, and I tried saying no because I've done all right lately, but they insisted. Anthony insisted anyway. Cheers, mate. Shout out to Anthony, Ronan and Linda. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Come back another time, but use the proper entrance and come around. Sit down at one of my new chairs. The 4 of us will better sit down around my nice patio furniture. Okay, that's enough of that. So that's us, guys. That was me preparing for this, and now here we are doing this. I did have to go shopping. You know. Karen made me. Okay, folks. That was the events of this week. The week ending March the 24th, 2024. The only thing that we've got left to discuss, what's upcoming this next week? What are we looking forward to? Crap weather, apparently. Until at least Thursday or Friday. That's not good for solar. Finish reorganising the camp. As I just mentioned, we're almost there. There's 1 or 2 loads more to take over to the bins. There'll be a final tidy up because of the wind. Everything gets scattered, everything gets blown about. Stuff blows off my table and you know. So once the wind stops, I've got to go around and pick up bits of plastic and bits of whatever's blown anywhere. Get all the water bottles back again. But start reorganising the tent, as I just mentioned some moments ago. Still want to do a tent review video. This tent has a specific brand and name. It's called a Watergate 8. I can't remember the brand. I think it's got K's in it, K's and Z's or something, but nah. So we'll do that properly when I've got all the information to hand, and when I've got it tidy enough to point a camera around where I won't be too embarrassed. Some careful editing will be needed. I'll probably move everything from one half over the other, film, then move everything over here, film that half, and then I've got to sort everything and put everything back where it belongs. Watch for the edits. See if you can see the splices. That's probably what I'm going to do. So tent review video, and I've got this possible purchase that I keep going on about and keep hinting at. Will he, won't he? Will he take the risk on having something delivered to the man in the tent? Cala de la Thora, Torrevieja. It's a big ticket item, guys, for me in this situation. And I've mentioned the pros and cons. I'm not going to go over that again, but this is going over. And I've still got this Guardia Civil threat to contact the owner of the land and seek my trespass. I still think it's wrong to solicit a trespass. If the owner goes to the police and says get him off, that's one thing. The police shouldn't be going to the owner and saying, hey, there's a bloke there, do you want rid? That's not generally how these things work. It's a threat, it's hanging over me. They're probably not going to do the paperwork and probably can't trace the owner anyway, from what I'm told by other people who tried. I'm not laughing. Not much. But this is my upcoming week, guys. These are the things hanging over me. These are the things I'm going to do, the things I want to achieve. There'll be the other swings and arrows of outrageous fortune. There'll be some things that go well and there'll be other things that go sideways. The usual mix. We meet them head on as always. Okay, folks. I believe we are at an end. If you're intending to go back and watch from the beginning or any other point of the video, you'll need to wait a couple of minutes. When I end the broadcast, the video will go private. I'll go in and make a couple of edits to tell it to be public and to tell it to be part of the TrampCast playlist. And then you'll be good to go. Give it a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. Let's see if we can do this properly. In the tradition of the channel. Probably can't because she's in an awkward position. Tina girl. Hey Tina. Hey Tina. From Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. Out.